What is up, YouTube? Today's going to be a little longer tutorial, and we're going to be going into audio effects and just adding character to this basic sound in Serum. It is one of the presets into the bass. I just took off all the effects and left it pretty basic. And we're going to do some character adding to this with chorus, maybe, dynamic tube, vinyl distortion. We could use the amp, flanger, overdrive, saturator, phaser, redux, and erosion. How many we use and how much of each we use is, all by ear. So first things first, we could do some distortion. So we could either use the dynamic tube, vinyl distortion, amp, or saturator, or overdrive. So many choices. How will we ever figure it out? Well, you just kind of mess with them and listen. So before, this is the sound we have. So I'm happy with the amp the way it is right now, but let's go ahead and try to get a similar effect with vinyl distortion and or saturator and erosion and dynamic tube. There's just so many different options we have. So let's listen to this vinyl distortion now. Could add the crackle in too. Seems like it's giving a lot of stereo width on this one right here. We're gonna go ahead, it's gonna get loud through the processing, so let's turn it down a few dBs. Next we could throw on is a dynamic tube. Let's go ahead and try a dynamic tube and turn these off again. It's a little more, relaxing, not so in your face like the other ones, but so all these in low amounts are going to add character to the sound and not necessarily change the sound. But if you do use it all the way, the drive all the way up or the wet, dry or wet, knob all the way up or the drive, you're going to change the sound quite a bit. But if you use these in low amounts, it's going to build up and thicken out the sound. So let's turn all this off, turn the amp back on. That's going to give us a nice sound. We'll close these just so you guys could, see the names and not forget. But next, I'd probably do like a little saturator on this. And like medium or soft, that's just going to give it a little more bite to the sound. And obviously the hard curve's going to really give some bite. So let's just do the soft right now. So you see it just gives it a little more bite, more aggression to the sound, more power, more punch. So we're going to do that in a little amount, not change too much, but if you do want to drive it up, you could add some, but I like it the way it is. Next, we're going to start going into some character aspects like chorus, flanger, or phaser, and these are going to give some new textures to the sound and start filling out the sound and giving it character. So let's do chorus first. So you see the rates here and the amounts here. The rate's gonna give you that wobbly thing, so I try to dial it back. And I really like it. It gives it some character. You could switch the high pass. And when you add that feedback up, you get the metallic textures and stuff. But we're not going to change the sound too much. Kind of softened up the sound, add a little stereo to it, and I like how it just kind of adds to the sound and doesn't change it too much. But you could see chorus could quickly change out the sound. Next, we're going to go to flanger and maybe add it, but just demo it. You see, you could get that to me it sounds cheesy, but it's when used correctly, you could get a flanger sounding good. But we're gonna go ahead and turn flanger off. For me, it's just not something I like. If you can make it work for you, by all means, do it, because you're gonna be more unique. And I don't think too many people use flanger. But next would be the phaser. Pitching it down an octave, that's not phaser doing that, but phaser is doing this. It's giving it a little more presence to the sound, and you saw when you automate these frequencies and feedback, you could really get some crazy tones with this. But again, we're just adding to the original sound, we're not trying to change the sound. In the next video though, we'll go into using these effects and doing some creative sound designing with them. So phaser, we're gonna leave it like that with the space mode 7 poles. Then we're going to start going into the last thing I would do. And it could be erosion, it could be redux. And redux is really going to change the sound. But if you use it in the soft mode, you could get some finer tuning and really get some cool sounds. So you can see the chorus and phaser had the little rate that's going on. Well, I turned it off over here, but in the chorus, it has that little LFO rate going, and the redux really makes that shine. And at low amounts, because if you go too much, pretty much just destroys the sound. That will give it the nice character on top and polish off the sound, and as well as erosion. So I really like what erosion does. It's kind of like adding some noise in there, or the white noise or the sine. But when you're using, see how I'm only at 34 on the amount, you could really just blend it in and really fill out the sound rather than putting it all the way up and dominating the sound and changing it. So this is adding character to your sounds with audio effects. as you were seeing through the demos, you can drastically change the sounds, and that's what we're going to go in the next video. So I'll see you guys in the next video where we start doing some crazy sound designs with these audio effects. As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, click that link in the description, join.tarant.info, and you're going to get access to over 80 presets from Serum to Massive to Silent One. You're going to get a bunch more music producer training, so I'll see you on the inside. Peace.